What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Boards Don't Hit Back's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at SHFiguarts Bruce Lee. I'm going to tell you straight away, this guy is awesome. It's really, really awesome. I need to do a little bit of a backstory first before we really get started. But just, it's incredible. Anyway. Shout out to Pinkerton from Realm of Collectors. He offered me to take a look at this guy a couple months back, and I said, I don't really think it'd be worth the time, energy, and effort overall, just because of how, paying for costs of shipping back and forth, the risk of breaking something, etc., etc. And then later on, the dude Chris, a different Chris, hit me up and offered me to take a look at a Bondi Star Wars Stormtrooper, which we will be looking at here soon. And said he had this guy as well, and that kind of made a little bit more sense because it was like a send two at the same time type of deal. So I was able to take a look at him. I had no intention of buying this guy. Now I'm definitely going to buy him if I had the opportunity at a decent price. He comes with a slew of accessories, and they're all extremely thoughtful. Let's get through the hands. So he comes with these two hands, which are like, little dangerous kung fu hands, all sculpted. They got the veins in the hand. Fingernails are all sculpted in. Very good stuff. We'll set those to the side. We got two of these posing hands, like the hands out, like the getting ready to get you. They're all sculpted the same way. Fingernails and veins and little tendons and such, all sculpted in. We have the two fist hands he has already. We have these two posing hands, which are very nice. It's a lot of hands and a lot of different options. Very thoughtful. I greatly appreciate stuff like that. We have two holding hands, and these holding hands will accommodate his weapons. He has two of these, like Nightwing batons. I'm sure you can get that all the way through, but I'm not sure you'd want to. But I'm not going to force it because it's not mine. I'm not comfortable damaging it. And of course, the holding hands can also hold his staff, which will work nicely. It's a bit pliable, so you should be able to get it in there with no problem. I'm not going to risk it because it's just not worth it to me. And then nunchucks with an actual chain in between, which I've only ever seen before on the NECA Michelangelo figure. I'm sure other people have done it, but it is a nice touch. It does give it a sense of weight and authenticity that really can't be duplicated. And he, of course, holds those the same way. So all in all, very, very, very cool stuff. And you get two of those little batons, so that's nice. You also get a thumbs up hand, nice touch. So you get a lot of posing hands, which, as you know, for a shelf, really comes in handy. Then you get three additional faces. You get the "you're about to be in big trouble" face. You get the "you've already gotten in that trouble" face. And you get the "what'd you say?" face. So, and all these head sculpts, they all have the same kind of identical detailing. You can see the mouth color plastic going through here. But, there's wash on the face paint. The eyes have the digital paint of, the brown and the black. And maybe even a reflection. Yep, there's a reflection on the eye itself. The eye has like a shadow around the eye. It's just they paint like little hair flecks on the forehead, which I'm not crazy about, but it's not really that distracting either. And I'm getting it's on all of them, so I think it's done purposefully, and I think it gives it a more realistic look. It gives it some layers and depth. Very, very, very cool, thoughtful, and look at the paint on the lips and such. Just top shelf craftsmanship all around. Let's look at this guy. So yeah, that's Bruce Lee, isn't it? No doubt about it. Head feels like it's on a ball peg. You split the head apart and just interchange the front part. Seam is fairly well hidden, but not perfect, but I think good enough. And then you get the ball peg. It feels like a double ball peg going from the neck into the chest. So you get, the range of motion is just, it's insanity. You can't get up a whole lot because of the back of the hair, and that's going to follow through on all the pieces because the back piece stays the same. But other than that, no real limitation whatsoever. It's all over the place, Mac. We have, moving down the chest, the skin tone all has a wash on it, which I'm not sure I've seen Figuarts do before, but like you get depth and texture all in there. All the musculature is all sculpted in, veins in the forearms and so forth. Really, really, really top shelf stuff. You got a butterfly joint at the chest, which doesn't work great. It gets you back a fair bit, but not forward a whole lot, rather. Collarbone is all sculpted in, and it stays, like, you know, it stays pretty much in line, which is nice. You got a ball hinge for the shoulder, get you the swivel and out to there, which isn't great. Of course, you can rotate the shoulder around and get the full movement if you want it, so no problems there, really, technically speaking. Bicep swivel, double jointed, or is it single jointed? No, it's single jointed, isn't it? Wait a minute, no. Nah, double jointed, I thought so. Double jointed elbow, that's good to go. Wrist swivel on a ball peg, and these are the hands that are interchangeable, and they're on little tiny pegs, so be very careful. You know, bad things can happen there. It feels like we have a double ball peg going from this piece to the upper piece, but it could be a single, and then another single down in the waist to the pelvis. But either way, I mean, the rotation is insane. You do get some gappage in there at extreme angles, but overall, pretty good to go. And then you get this textured, sculpted, like waistband across the top there, which helps it. Like if this would have all been chest or abdomen rather, the gap would have shown a lot further. But since this is black plastic here and then black paint there, it hides the gap very well. The pants are all sculpted. You do get a lot of gappage here if you don't have them in a bit of an A stance. So that's less than great, but not a huge deal. Of course, you get the swivel on that ball peg with no problem. Hips, they're on universals, which is cool. So you get them out to there. You can, I don't know, man. Like I think because like they're going for like the baggy pant look, sometimes it can look awkward. But I think if you just get it posed right, you won't have a real issue. All in all, pretty well done. All the wrinkles and stuff are all sculpted in the pants, so that's nice. Knees, pretty well hidden within. Like it doesn't destroy the sculpt on a you know a pant, like a cloth, like a material textured figure. The knees are pretty well done, and you get way past 90 degrees. Well, not way past, but you get past 90 degrees. Down at the bottom here, and it looks like there is a finish on these pants. Like I don't know if it's the type of plastic they use. This is a soft plastic up here to allow for the movement, but it does look like there's a type of finish there. Ankles. This is where a little bit of trouble comes in, but not crazy. So you get this white piece down here. You get an ankle tilt that goes forward to there, which is nice, but back only to there, and I could have used more. We got brown paint around the base of the shoe. That gets a little sloppy on this one. Not so much on the other one, but on this one, which is just weird. They usually put a lot more pride into that kind of stuff. And then the bottom of the feet are all sculpted. You get a toe pivot, which is nice, especially for a guy that was up on his toes a lot for the poses and stuff. So that's perfect. And then you get an ankle rocker that works, I think, well enough. Only thing I would have liked is a little bit more play here, and I wouldn't have had much of a complaint. But overall, I don't have much of a complaint in general. Let me show you what he looks like in comparison to a couple other Figuarts lines, so you have a point of reference. And there's a size comparison of him with SHFiguarts Injustice Superman and Star Wars The Force Awakens Captain Phasma. So he's a little fella, even by SHFiguarts standards, just to give you a heads up. Final thoughts-wise, the negatives come down to three simple things for me. One, I wish the articulation was a bit better in a few spots. That ankle tilt going all the way back, that butterfly joint getting you a little bit more of a forward rotation, and the back of the head, the hair sculpt at the back of the head, allowing for the full upward movement of the head. That's the articulation issue. A couple paint issues, but very, very minor, and the fragility kind of the pegs of the wrist, and then the weapons and the thinness of the weapons and getting them into the hands. I don't know if that's an issue. I'm just saying there is a recipe there for disaster, but that's all I got. All in all, though, a fantastic figure, a great figure. it's amazing. It's an amazing figure. The sculpt, the pride, the paint, the accessories. There's so much thoughtfulness in it. There's a passion for this person who was an amazing person to walk this earth. From these designers, sculptors, painters, manufacturers of this toy that just bleeds through. I had no intention of getting this guy. I absolutely cannot live without him now. Must have him. So I recommend you do the same if you're a fan of Bruce Lee. If you're not a fan of Bruce Lee, I'm not sure I can get down with you, buddy. Did you ever think you would be able to get a Bruce Lee figure that could hold his nunchucks like that? Come on. Come on. It makes me think about when I was a kid, my brothers and I used to watch Black Belt Theater. It used to come on cartoon, after the cartoons were over on Saturday mornings. I feel like if you were a kid of the 80s, you either watched wrestling, Black Belt Theater, or American Gladiator when cartoons went off in the morning. And I was definitely one of those kids that more often than not watched Black Belt Theater with my brothers. And if you were young, you know that after you watched a whole bunch of Black Belt Theater, you and your brothers would fight. And somebody would inevitably get hurt. The problem is, my brothers now are all grown, independent, living on their own and such, so I've got no one to... Wait a minute. You ready?
Yes! I'm pretty sure you did irreversible damage.
But in all seriousness, an absolutely tremendous figure and likeness of a tremendous individual. I'm getting one. I suggest you get one too. Thank you, Chris. My wallet hates you, but I love you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.
Can we both do it?
Yeah, sure.
Can we do it both?
Ready?
Yeah. I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready.
Alright, you ready?
I'm ready too. Just let me get my
Stay right there,
giggles.
Selena.
Let me get my giggles out. Okay.